Wednesday. He is hoping the rest does him some good.
And so an opportunity for the rookie, Evan Turner, to get a start here. Certainly important minutes for him as this regular season winds down. Doug Collins has said on any one of a number of occasions, the more minutes for Evan, the better for his development. Certainly makes sense for the rookie from Ohio State. Been getting some extra minutes lately anyway in the absence of Lou Williams, who we are happy to report is healing rapidly and hopes to be ready for the playoffs this coming weekend. That will be either Miami or the Boston Celtics. But tonight, the last of 4 meetings between the Sixers and Magic. And we are running tonight from Wells Fargo Center. Magic currently leading the season series 2-1. Won the last meeting here between the teams. That was in February. Dwight Howard that night was way too much. Instantly, they double on him. And Jameer Nelson makes them pay with a 3. Of course, he's $1 late with that. He had a look at a 3 that could have tied it yesterday against the Bulls and was, what, about 3 or 4 tenths of a second short.
Off to a solid start. He shot the ball well the last time he came to Philadelphia.
There it is for Howard running the floor. Compliments of Jason Richardson. The Magic quickly the first 5 points of the game.
Bad sign for us. Jameer Nelson hits a 3. That's their game, and then Dwight Howard in the paint.
That's a good sign.
Both of those
and that's a good sign for Drew Holiday, who has really struggled with his shot over the last 4 games.
Well, it's always crucial to play solid basketball going into the playoffs with your confidence high. So, yes, indeed, we need Drew Holiday playing solid basketball.
He is third on the Sixers in scoring, averaging just under 14. Nice play by Hawes to strip Dwight Howard of the basketball. Howard does average nearly 4 turnovers per game. And the Magic, 25 of 30 NBA teams, taking care of the ball. And that's what Hawes can do. If he makes that shot, draw Howard away from the hoop.
Well, yes, it will. They do have the luxury of putting the smaller guy on Spencer Hawes if he's going to stay out there and putting Howard on Elton Brand.
Brandon Bass, the starting power forward for the Magic. Did not play here in February because of the left ankle sprain. And in the starting lineup since December. Elton Brand, the leading scorer for the Sixers, averaging exactly 15 points per game.
And this is his type of game because you have a power forward that's not much taller than him, if he is taller. Elton Brand strives in those matchups.
Bringing the keys to tonight's game, brought to you by Kia.
Well, you know Dwight Howard. We have to defend him and make it tough for him and put him on the free throw line instead of giving him easy buckets. Defend the 3 also because this team strives in shooting the 3-point shot. And from our end, ride that hot player. And that's when Thaddeus Young. When he gets into the basketball game, he's been making plays. His energy level's high. They have to keep it there.
And he has been great lately, Thaddeus Young. Jason Richardson. That's a couple of inches on Holiday and some weight as well. Drew thought it was clean, appealing to the official who made the call. But it should be 2 at the line here for the 10-year vet, Jason Richardson.
And you see Jason Richardson right here. Nice post-up game, elevation on his jump shot. But the one thing that he does, and this is the one thing that really kind of worries me about playoff basketball, because in playoff basketball, they stick with matchups. They will continue to go with that. And with Jody Meeks being shooting the basketball well, but being the smaller 2, and Drew Holiday hadn't really proven himself to defend the 2. So in the first round, you have a Dwayne Wade, you have a Jason Richardson. They will have opportunities to consistently post up those guys and take advantage of their size.
And Wade, if you're looking ahead to the Miami series, which seems now the probability, I think Wade is going to be a very tough matchup for the Sixers.
Well, I mean, obviously he's a tough matchup for anybody.
Sure.
But the fact that his size, he's a very talented guy, but he's not a real big 2 guard, so you don't really have a lot of matchups a lot of time. He's just better than most guys.
Jason Richardson hits the 3, had 4 of those yesterday in their 3-point loss to Chicago. 24 in the game. And he is second in the NBA to Darrell Wright, Golden State, in 3s attempted per game, 6 of them. And he's first in the NBA and makes nearly 3 per game as Drew Holiday drills the deuce, his second bucket.
Well, Drew knows he can get a shot off on Jameer Nelson, smaller point guard, so just go right into a shot, raise up, no thinking about it.
Turkoglu, another guy could be a matchup problem. Very good ball handler for a guy his size. A very good setup guy. Excellent passer.
And people forget he's 6'10", so he can see over most defenses. He can finish in traffic amongst the trees. Like I said, his ball handling skills are very good.
And a second go-round with the Magic after that December trade with the Phoenix Suns. Personal foul, Dwight Howard. First on him, first on the Magic, Turkoglu. As Eric reminded us, 6'10", 220, his 11th year in the NBA. Nice look inside for Meeks, able to finish the job. Compliments of Jrue Holiday. Leads the Sixers in assists. The Sixers the only team in the NBA to have 2 players in the top 20 in assists, including Andre Iguodala. That's Elton Brand grabbing Dwight Howard. That was the strategy by the Sixers here in February, and Howard was tremendous in that game at the line.
Right here, you see just a simple curl. You come off the screen, and usually he's going to come back and receive another screen, but Jason Richardson's late, so you give him the basketball. Make that defense play you honest on every screen.
Howard in that game in February was 14 of 19 from the line. Ended up with 30 points, 17 rebounds. He is second in rebounding in the NBA to Kevin Love. And he's 10th in scoring.
I mean, that makes him, I wouldn't say no one close to impossible to defend if he's making these free throws, because that's the part that you can always go to when he's getting dunks or getting low post position, that you feel like you can use your fouls and you kind of lose some points.
Kevin Turner finding himself open but unable to hit the jump shot. Nelson getting free all the way to the cup. Howard fingertip control, his 5th already, but Meeks and the Sixers come up with a turnover. Holiday for 3. Came off kind of flat. The rebound to Brandon Bass. Nelson teeing up another 3, and he drops it. So Jameer Nelson actually did have a couple of threes in their 3-point loss yesterday to Chicago. Now the Magic 3 of 3 from beyond, and of course the 3 a very big weapon for them. And now they lead it by 7 for the first time. Doug Collins gets himself a timeout.
Jameer Nelson, just like he did in college. Chester, PA, knocking down the 3 from deep. Trouble for us.
Sixers basketball camps, Sixers dance camps, day camps, overnight camps. If you're 5 to 7, we've got choices for you. 8 to 17, you as well. Call Sixers camps at 610-668-7676 or visit SixersCamps.com. Sixers down 7 for the first time. We are early in tonight's game between the Sixers and the Magic. Here at Wells Fargo Center, 3 threes already for the Magic. And the kid from Chester's got 2 of them.
Well, Jameer Nelson, he's going to get his opportunities. And right here, Dwight Howard gets double teamed. Open shot. Of course, they're guarding Dwight Howard underneath the basket. And Jameer Nelson, again, gets a wide open shot. So it's all set up by the presence of Dwight Howard in the paint.
And for once, good health for Jameer Nelson this season. 75th game of the season for him. Most in 4 years. He's been in the league for 7 as they ran it again for Howard. That time unfinished business for him. And here are the Sixers. Meeks for 3. Jody Meeks, it would be great to get his shot back to where it was a couple of weeks ago. He has struggled in his last 7, just 37% from the floor. And the Sixers really count on him to spread the floor and shoot the 3.
Well, that's why I still say he has to be a focus. You have to try to get him shots. You look at, I'm not saying he's Ray Allen, but he's used in the same way. But they still call plays for Ray Allen. They still, when he know he has a shot coming, he has an opportunity coming. Instead of getting most of his shots, as Elton Brand knocks out a jump shot on the fly or off a broken play or off of penetration only.
Talk to me about Elton Brand the last couple of weeks.
He's been solid. His jump shot is good. He's rebounding. He's still leading this team. I mean, he's been the elder statesman, and you see him out there every game, and every possession, defending, playing solid. It's exactly what we need going into the playoffs from your veteran players.
And lately getting 20 points from here as Nelson hits another three. So Jameer Nelson that time with the shot clock running down. Now he's 3 of 3 from beyond it. He's got 9.
Well, that's, you know, when you've made a couple shots and that shot clock is running down, it's like a free shot. Like, hey, I know even if it's a bad shot, I get a chance to take me another shot, give me a heat check, and he's knocking them down.
Jody Meeks knocking down the 3 at 40.5%. The best the Sixers have to offer. Their first 3 of the game.
And that's a different shot. Now you see that they have an action, they run a play. He knows if he slides up, he's going to have a chance to knock that shot down.
Elton Brand coming up with the loose ball, and his jersey was grabbed from behind by Brandon Bass.
See right there, Brandon Bass. Careless with that pass. The Sixers' active defense. We forced some turnovers this quarter, just haven't scored.
6 of them. Sixers actually being out rebounded by 7. The Magic, an excellent rebounding team, led by the guy who's on patrol around the paint, number 12, Dwight Howard. And for the first time, number 33, Ryan Anderson has come into the game, trying to defend Elton Brand, who gets his 3rd bucket for 6. Anderson, a career-high 28 in the absence of this guy, Howard, who served the 1-game suspension yesterday after picking up his 18th technical foul. He hits the bucket, his 2nd. He's got 6.
So if he gets a technical today, can we take him out for the rest of the game?
He's got, you get every 2 you got to sit out another game.
Oh, we got to wait a game? Oh.
Every 2 you got to sit out another game. He actually got more than 18, but a bunch of those were rescinded.
I should have played late yesterday.
No, too late now.
A solid start.
He's good. He is good. 5-time All-Star, candidate for most valuable player.
There's no candidates.
Well, listen, he'll be in the conversation. He'll get some votes. You're right. It's going to be Derrick Rose. I agree, but he'll get some votes. It'll be in the conversation. This will go as an offensive foul. And Dwight Howard just picked up a 2nd personal foul. That's one way to get him out of the game.
Yeah, the foul. I mean, right there on the offensive end, another turnover for Orlando Magic. That's the way we've sort of kept afloat with them turning the basketball over. And Gundy taking Jameer Nelson out late in the year, so that helps also. Taking out the high hand.
Dwight Howard, 18 technical fouls, we mentioned. A bunch of those were rescinded by the league. He had 22, so 4 of those rescinded. As Holiday sets up Hawes, unfinished business for him. Howard another rebound, so he remains in the game as Orlando now out-rebounded the Sixers 12-2. Chris Duhon, number 25, lately relegated to 5th guard status. Magic here, another opportunity with a fresh 24. Holiday had a loose ball, which was kicked. So Orlando ultimately will keep it. Do not count it. That was for style points only. So the Magic behind Howard, controlling things early in this game. And so Doug Collins going to the bench. Spencer Hawes out. Thad Young for the first time. And Andres Nocioni getting a run, replacing Evan Turner. Collins saying one of the reasons he did not start Nocioni was that he wanted at least a couple of ball handlers on the floor to deal with the defense of Dwight Howard. Jody Meeks here called for the personal foul. It'll be his first, the 3rd on the team. The Magic with 2 team fouls. And Orlando back to work here with 18 to shoot.
It's been a great matchup, lineup for us with Elton Brand and Thaddeus Young at the 4 and 5 position. But in this particular game with Dwight Howard at the center position, it's tough for Elton Brand.
Young taking all comers on the break. And he is fouled on the play. Duhon took a spill. And it should be 2 at the line for Thad Young.
Once again, the Orlando Magic turn the basketball over. That's what the Sixers have to do. You have to push the ball in transition. Dwight Howard's not back. He's not in the action. He's going right to the rim, especially with Thaddeus Young at the 4 position. More guys that can take off and get some easy buckets.
So the Sixers, their first free throws of this game. The Sixers average under 23 free throws per game. That is well below the NBA average. Thad Young, last week or so, making a late push for Sixth Man of the Year. Lou Williams, candidate. Jason Terry of Dallas. Jamal Crawford of Atlanta. Sixers the third best bench in the NBA in terms of points per game, behind Phoenix and Dallas. Inside Richardson. His own miss. Jason Richardson, second on the team in scoring, averaging just under 16.
You have one true big in Elton Brand. It's hard for him to really come over and help because of Dwight Howard.
Jrue Holiday setting up Thad Young for his first bucket. Thad averaging just under 13. He is 8th in the NBA in field goal percentage. Anderson, a very good three-point shooter. Had a fistful of those yesterday en route to his career high of 28 as a starter for the suspended Dwight Howard.
And no matter who they're playing, if they're shooting the basketball well from the outside, they're tough to beat.
Andres Nocioni, a more than capable three-point shooter, buries the second of the quarter for the Sixers from beyond. The Magic 5 of 6 from beyond the arc here in this first quarter. Duhan coming down with another rebound for the Magic. Richardson for a three, and he drops it. So their three-point shooting's been out of sight. 6 of 7 in the quarter.
And they're going to get those shots with penetration. They're getting the offensive rebounds, and that's really hurting us. And like we say, they can always throw it in down low if you start playing tight on those shooters.
Wait a second. A 16-2 rebounding advantage for Orlando here in the opening quarter. Jrue Holiday got caught in the air, no place to go.
You got to get him to miss the rebound.
Sixers doubling up on Howard. He finds the plunging Anderson for another bucket. So the Magic hitting fully 2/3 of their shots here, 12 of 18. They put 32 on the board, and this is really an average scoring team. It's an exceptional defensive and rebounding team. But you give them 32 with their defense, it's...
Well, I mean, this just shows how tough they are when they're making their three-point shot, because they rely on it. They rely on the three, open it up for Dwight Howard, and Dwight Howard and open it up the three-point shot. So they really, really depend on making shots from behind that line.
And it's not either or in this game. They're doing both. Howard's getting his, and the three-point shooters are getting theirs. Under a minute to play here in the opening quarter tonight. The 76ers, D lineup is there. The practices, the shoot-arounds, the games, of course. 24/7. D covers the Sixers, and you can read all her stuff only on CSNPhilly.com. The injury update brought to you by Mainline Health. J.J. Redick not playing, and Gilbert Arenas is out with a sore left leg. Lou Williams on the mend, hopefully ready for the playoffs this weekend. And a precautionary measure for Andre Iguodala not playing in this one because of his continuing issues with right knee tendonitis. And the Sixers will decide at some point between now and Wednesday if Iguodala plays in the season finale. Here at Wells Fargo Center, Fan Appreciation Night. It's an 8 o'clock tip. The Sixers and the Detroit Pistons. And the Sixers returning to the playoffs this weekend after a year hiatus. Number 3, Earl Clark, the second-year big man from Louisville, came over to the Magic. That big trade with the Phoenix Suns. Played very well the last time the teams met here in February. And he is on for the first time. So as if the Magic are not rebounding the ball well enough. A very tall front line for them now. Going 6'10", 6'11", 6'10" across the front line, and already out-rebounding the Sixers 16-2, including 5 offensive rebounds here this opening quarter. Clark has to get it up quickly, had it stripped out of bounds, and only 1 second to shoot for Orlando. Magic 3-point losers yesterday without Dwight Howard and J.J. Redick. The team will be the #1 seed in the East, the Chicago Bulls. That'll go as an air ball. Shot clock violation on the Magic. And for all the pounding of the boards, the Orlando Magic has done here in the first quarter. They have turned it over 8 times to only 2 for the Sixers.
Well, I mean, you have to convert off those turnovers, and we've only had 5 points off those turnovers, so you have to produce more points in order to really make them pay.
Nelson off the miss by Thad Young. Got a 2-second difference here between the clocks, and each team does have a foul to give. Ryan Anderson, a guy who could score his 3rd year from the University of California.
And Ryan Anderson is taller than our whole team, and he's the power forward on Orlando Magic. But that shows that your interior defense suffers when you have to defend Dwight Howard, because you have to have a body stay attached to him because of his rebounding ability.
Elton Brand with 8 now here in the quarter, which has just come to a close. So Elton Brand with 8. The Sixers shoot 50%, with the Magic at 65%, dominating the glass and hitting, count them, 6 threes in that first quarter. They lead the Sixers by 9, 34-25. Second quarter coming up right after this.
Is brought to you by Acura. Acura Advance.
The AT&T call of the game, February 12, 2005. Allen Iverson going off against Dwight Howard, Jameer Nelson, and the Orlando Magic. He had 40 points in that game after 3. He would drop 20 more in the fourth quarter to give him a total of 60 points for the game. Only Wilt Chamberlain scored more in a 76er uniform, the 4th highest total in Sixer history. A 112-99 victory for the 76ers over the Orlando Magic. Aaron McKie, of course, a lot of time with AIU, certainly East Snow in the same backcourt, that 2001 team. What was it like to watch Allen just go off in a game?
60. You know what? He was just very special. He could score with the best of them, and it was exciting. But more than anything, he always played hard. He was always competing, and just the fact that, it amazed people that he was so small and he was able to go out there and score and be one of the best scorers that ever played this game.
I remember a Sunday in this building against Sacramento. Chris Webber was on that team. They're still a force in the West. Allen had 50, and he got up 40 shots. He was 20 of 40.
You got to have some talent just to get up 40 shots.
Exactly. Well, with East Snow, Mark Zumoff tonight. Nelson, a healthy 3. Well, he's zoned in now. He's 4 of 4 from beyond for all 12 of his points.
Yeah, he's looking for that shot. So you have to do something different on his pick and rolls or something to take away that 3-point shot from Jameer Nelson. You got family and friends in town, so it's always for him to put on the show and to come back home and knocking down 3. 20 seconds timeout.
Orlando Magic now with its largest lead at a dozen. The Sixers yet to lead in this game. The Magic seized control shortly after tip-off, and now leading by a dozen, 37-25. 76ers with Miami and New York winning this past weekend, setting up a probable first-round matchup with the Heat. But still, 2 games remaining. The Sixers, the Heat, Miami, and the New York Knicks for that matter. A 19-2 rebounding advantage for Orlando. And as Duhon hits the deck, we have a whistle and a foul. The Magic here running Duhon and Nelson in the backcourt with Anderson, Earl Clark, and for the first time, the South Jersey native Malik Allen, as Dwight Howard gets a rest with 8-7 and 2 personal fouls.
So Orlando Magic team is only here with 9 players, but these 9 players are solid contributors. So we're still going to have our hands full. I think some of these teams at the end of the season are sort of lukewarm with how they perform, but not the Magic. Dwight Howard is off to a great start. Jameer Nelson playing well and shooting it well in this Orlando Magic team. It's just a better team with more energy and better play here in this first half thus far.
They lead it now by 13 for the first time. Jody Meeks, Evan Turner in the Sixer backcourt. With Spencer Hawes, Thad Young, and Andres Nocioni up front. Hawes with Howard out of the game, trying to get something inside. Has it taken away. Nelson lost it. Hawes rocketing to Young. One more, Nocioni got it. Beautiful job by the Sixers to advance it up the floor.
Well, we finally with a nice conversion off of the turnover, so that's what you need to do. Continue to force those turnovers. We have to make it on the other end. Try to get the Orlando Magic to play fast.
So Orlando now with 10 turnovers. Make it 11. Turner taking all comers. Young got a piece of it, but a whistle and a foul.
Fouls on Jameer Nelson, his first.
First personal foul on Jameer Nelson. It'll be 2 at the line for Evan Turner.
Evan Turner at the line to shoot 2.
Jody Meeks getting a break now. Drew Holiday in for him. And for Turner, his 14th start of the season.
That's when he's at his best. So Evan Turner, if he can attack and transition with the basketball in his hand and make plays. He's a solid ball handler. Can find guys. You just see him sometimes deferring and sometimes just the position he's put in from an offensive standpoint. Being more of a catch and shoot guy, that's really not what he does the best.
But he plans on working on that along with just about every phase of his game this coming summer. Chris Duhon. Allen at his feet, and during the scramble we have a grab here and a Sixer foul. Thaddeus Young, the personal. First on him, second on the team. Fans making their feelings known. Thad Young normally does not go back at an official under any circumstances. Nelson wildly over the head of Clark, and once again, for all the dominating of the glass the Magic have done, they've turned it over 12 times. It's nearly a game's worth.
That's what's keeping us in it, because the way they're shooting the basketball is such a high percentage. You want them to force turnovers because they're knocking down the shots.
64%, including 7 of 8 is Orlando from beyond. The Sixers now turn it over. The Sixers, 4th best of the NBA, taking care of the ball. And Doug Collins saying before the game, you're shorthanded. You have to value the ball even more.
Because it's possessions. You have guys.
I think Kevin Johnson sees a wet spot. That's why he's out on the floor.
You can see that?
Yes, he can. They're trained. You know, as you know from practice, that's what they do. The minute somebody drops to the floor, there's a wet spot. It's the trainer, equipment guy, ball boys, whatever, out there wiping it up.
Well, guys only seen that when they were trying to get back on defense.
And apparently, you're told there may be some ice on the floor, so perhaps a spilled drink. Antonio Daniels played a handful of minutes the other night against Toronto. Did not play the game before Wednesday against New York. His Sixer debut the previous Tuesday at Boston. Signed by the Sixers to a 10-day contract. 13-year veteran. Turner draped on Nelson. But simply amazing here with 4 threes in the first half. Two to shoot for Clark. Rebound of Malik Allen. Nelson, another 3. Finally the heat check, but the rebound to Anderson. An alarming 6th offensive rebound for the Orlando Magic.
They're still getting them even with Dwight Howard out of the ball game, so they're going to have to do a much better job securing rebounds once we get a team that's hot to finally miss.
Anderson missing inside, but he was fouled. Free throws 7 and 8 coming up for the Orlando Magic. Andres Nocioni, the guilty party, and 3 team fouls already on the Sixers. Take a timeout. Still relatively early in the second. The Magic playing the front runners tonight at Wells Fargo Center.
At the same time, he is even more excited about what it would mean for the city of Philadelphia, saying that it would have people talking and it would restore some basketball life here in the city.
He has changed the culture of the team, Meredith. We thank you so much. Took him about a month for him to get to know his players, for them to get to know him. Thus the 3-13 start. The Sixers, virtually a top 10 team in the NBA ever since in terms of their win percentage. And a victory tonight or Wednesday against Detroit, the 76ers will have themselves their first winning season in 6 years. That was 2004-05. They come in at 41-39. Doug Collins always taking time to teach, bring up a point. The players, all ears. So this is Ryan Anderson, an 81% free throw shooter. We mentioned his career high 28 in their loss yesterday to Chicago. 4 threes in the victory here by the Magic in February. Got him in that Vince Carter deal, kind of came in under the radar, but he has been a find for them.
Well, if you looked at his skill set and the things that he brings to the table, he was a perfect fit, perfect match. So most people thought he was a throw-in. Orlando Magic knew exactly what they were getting. He was the guy that they wanted to be part of the deal.
Antonio Daniels officially in the game. Elton Brand has 2 to shoot against the taller Malik Allen. Can he get it off? Never did. Shot clock violation on the Sixers for their 5th turnover against the dozen of the visitors. Orlando Magic, they have been locked as the 4th seed in the East for about the last week. They will have home court in the first round of the playoffs against the Atlanta Hawks. Rematch for them. The 2 teams hooking up in the Eastern semis last year, and the Magic swept them in 4 games. Anderson going for the miss, and in fact he tipped it in. So yet another offensive rebound for the Orlando Magic.
Well, Coach Collins is, has to be highly disappointed right now, at the effort on the boards, because there's no way you should come out and get out rebounded the way we are. And yes, I know that if they're making shots, it's tough to get rebounds, but they're offensive rebounding majority of times when they miss.
One and done for Thad Young and the Sixers. Nelson missing a pair of threes now as Anderson knocked it away from Young and out of bounds. So Jameer Nelson, after hitting his first 4 from beyond, missing his next 2.
Well, that right there wasn't a great shot for Jameer. All the other the shots that he made were good-looking shots. He was in his rhythm. As Team Nelson is texting, "Hey, Jameer and Orlando Magic are hot."
Meredith, what can you add about Team Nelson?
Well, Mark, he obviously has a lot of Philadelphia ties, a graduate of Chester High School in St. Joe's, as we all know. He spends a lot of his time here during the offseason. There were about 400 tickets sold, all that benefit his foundation. And you saw the T-shirt in the crowd with some kids from his foundation with the Team Nelson on it. He actually sponsors 5 AAU teams, some of the proceeds going to help fund those AAU teams. Nelson, of course, a real humble guy and a Philly favorite, very active in Philadelphia with his foundation here in the offseason.
Jameer Nelson giving back the area where he grew up, led St. Joe's to a top rating in the polls when he was here. Warner shared a number of Player of the Year honors, and that's his mom. In attendance here tonight at Wells Fargo Center. Slipped to number 20 in the draft. Picked originally by Denver, then traded to the Orlando Magic, where he has spent every one of his now 7 NBA seasons. Drew Holiday getting an opening, and he drills it. So Drew getting his shot back. He's 4 of 6. He's got 8 and 5 assists here in the first half as we approach the halfway point of the second. Number 23, Jason Richardson back in for the Magic. Ditto this guy, number 30, Brandon Bass. Dwight Howard still on the Orlando bench. Sixers try to lock all windows and doors, and in fact Brand slamming the door shut on Chris Duhon. Nocioni for 3. All that started by the defense of Elton Brand, the Sixers' best shot blocker, and Nocioni his second 3 of the game. And with just under 5.5 to go here in the first half, the Sixers cut it to 9.
Well, defense can always get you started. Right here, we just needed some effort. Duhon goes up. Nope, get that out of here, and we're off and running on the other end.
Tonight on Sixers City, the head coach Doug Collins talking about the playoffs and Lou Williams and much, much, much more. Sixers City tonight, 11 o'clock on the Comcast Network. Magic front running on the Sixers, leading right now by 9, under 5.5 to play in the second.
Right here, Chris Duhon attacking the basket. That's what you see, all Sixers in the paint. That's how you want to play basketball in the defensive end, and that leads to the push. Right here, the transition D3, which is extremely difficult to defend, especially when you have the numbers on the other end.
Dwight Howard still on the Orlando bench. The Magic have it out of the timeout. Daniels defending Richardson. Rebound to Clark. Yet another offensive rebound. 10 offensive rebounds for the Magic. That's a game's worth.
That's where they're giving their energy. I mean, they're getting energy off of that. You know, they're getting more opportunities, and guys get more shots. So all of a sudden, they play better.
And it's not like a lot of misses are available. They're shooting 50%. It's Nocioni. Another 3.
All of a sudden you get a string of stops and you start making some shots, and all of a sudden things change. You want to try to ride this for the rest of the second quarter.
He'll certainly ride Andres Nocioni with 3 threes to his credit. Clark pulls it down, unable to pull it back. Sixers just need to get some defensive rebounds. Here they are down 6. The hot guy is Nocioni. Holiday for Young. 10 unanswered for the Sixers to make it a 4-point game.
Van Gundy's going to have to go back to Dwight Howard. He probably wanted to sit him the rest of the half. The Sixers making this run, started on the defensive end.
Howard remained in the game after picking up his second personal foul, then sat out a good part of the second quarter as they alley-oop for Young. Unfinished business for him, and Bass secures it for Orlando. Under 4 to play, first half. Suddenly, Nelson unable to hit his shot. The Magic go for their last 8. Brand got shoved. It would have counted. Malik Allen is guilty. It'll be 2 at the line for Elton Brand. In comes Dwight Howard, and Spencer Hawes will shadow him. Malik Allen, Shawnee High School in Medford, New Jersey, and Villanova taking a break. Thad Young giving way to Spencer Hawes. And a pair of free throws here for one Elton Brand.
He's weathered the storm by the Orlando Magic. They're bringing Howard back in and Turkoglu back in. So you want to make sure that you continue to play the basketball that you've established here in this second quarter. And I allow them, just because Dwight Howard's back in, all of a sudden get wide open shots and offensive rebounds. Stay true to the form that you've established.
We invite you to join us. Secure Insurance Halftime Live. Marshall Harris, Mark Jackson, and the coach Jim Lynam. Their thoughts, analysis of the first half. It's been a tale of two different quarters for the Sixers, suddenly down a deuce. Howard, energized after a stay on the bench, is fouled. It'll be 2 at the line for Dwight Howard, who leads the NBA by far in free throws attempted per game, nearly 12 per contest.
Right here, Dwight Howard, Spencer Hawes, you have to know majority of times when he drives, he's a right-handed driver, so he gives one little fake and you give him that lane for that right hand. He's a much tougher driver going to the basket when he's going right.
Dwight Howard, the two-time reigning defensive player of the year for a team that's 5th best in the NBA in opponents' points, field goal percentage. And the Bears repeating, he was 14 of 19 in Orlando's victory here in early February. Sixers could tie or take their first lead with a 3. Brand for the tie. Got it. Compliments of Drew Holiday, his 8th assist, and Elton Brand now with a dozen with under 3 to go before halftime. A 14-0 Sixers sprint. Daniels nearly came up with a steal. Richardson for a 3. Run down by Howard, but he saved it to Holiday. Nocioni for Brand. One more for Hawes, denied by Howard, who scrambled back into the picture. In the meantime, Duhan with one sneaker. He runs into the backcourt, retrieves it from a fan.
Drew Holiday's doing right. You have the double team. They're not going to call a timeout, so you're playing 5-on-4. Just double team the guy with the basketball.
Finally, Duhan scrambles into the picture. And with 5 seconds to shoot, Stan Van Gundy calls timeout with the Sixers. A great run here.
We thought we had a layup right here, but no, Dwight Howard is taking that.
The poll question tonight brought to you by AT&T. Who will be the NBA Defensive Player of the Year? Dwight Howard, who is the reigning 2-time Defensive Player of the Year. Andre Iguodala's done a nice job on a number of different players this year. Kobe Bryant, LeBron James. Text your vote 749-377. 749-377 to vote in the AT&T poll question. Offensively speaking and otherwise, some numbers on these guys. And we should mention that statistically, Orlando, the Lakers, Miami, among the best defensive teams in the NBA. The 76ers, a much improved defensive team under Doug Collins. '76ers coming in at 41-39. Right now the 7th spot in the NBA's Eastern Conference, trailing the New York Knicks, who have the tiebreaker. So if the Sixers are to take the 6th spot for what it's worth, it'll be Miami or Boston regardless. They'll have to do so outright. They have the Knicks holding the tiebreaker by virtue of the fact that they have a better division record. The teams tying in the season series with New York's victory here last week. The season series finale. As for the Magic, they're just trying to stay sharp. They'll have the home court for the first round playoff series against the Atlanta Hawks. And again, they beat them last year in the 2nd round, sweeping them as a matter of fact. As Brand took it away from Howard. Sixers looking for their first lead. Brand has Howard, and he gives it up. Antonio Daniels at the controls with Drew Holiday largely running off the ball. Holiday against Howard, who leaves him in denial. Dwight Howard blocking the shot, his 2nd of the game. Turkoglu drilling it at the other end. That was for 2. They're going to replay it to see if maybe it wasn't a 3.
Impact of Dwight Howard. Holiday had a layup, but you got to try to get some contact. But he's just such a great athlete, shot blocker. It's hard to get it.
So if you're voting tonight in the AT&T poll question, Dwight Howard just served up his case right there.
Foul on Jason Richardson. His first.
That shot by Turkoglu temporarily ruled a deuce. First point for the Magic over about the last 5 minutes of game action.
Here's Turk coming down. We talked about that transition three. He dribbles into a shot right there. From that angle, it appears to be a three. Can give us a closer look.
The officials will have as many looks as it will take for them to determine whether or not Turkoglu had a foot behind the line. Turkoglu, one of a bevy of good three-point shooters for the Magic.
That appears to be a three.
Yep.
The glare makes it tough, but dribble down three. On this team, you got to make sure you find your man, you match up. You have many guys that can just stop behind that line and shoot it.
So it's a tie game right now, but imagine, if you will, a 1-point Orlando lead.
So, I mean, like I said, we weathered the storm, but Orlando Magic, you just never know if they're making shots and continue to make them.
Boy, Duhan somehow got free. There was no help against him.
Lack of communication, a little screen, and then no weak side help. Even if guys screw up on the play, you still have to come and stop the basketball.
Elton Brand continues a pace, 6 of 7. He's got 16. He's high man of the game. Chance for the Magic here to work 2 possessions for 1. Chris Duhan getting a workout here with no Gilbert Arenas because of continuing knee issues. J.J. Redick still bothered by strained abdominal muscles. That's a good fight inside by Brandon Bass, who's got the body to do it, 6'8", 250. Magic could get a final look here. Got a 2-second or so difference between the clocks, and nobody has a foul to give. Holiday trying to break down Duhan. Howard has his miss, and that'll do it. So we have Orlando with a 2-point victory, but remember that replay of the Hedo Turkoglu 2-pointer is pending, should be ruled a 3, and ultimately it looks as though it'll be a 3-point advantage for Orlando here at the break. Coming up, Pure Insurance Halftime Live. That'll be Marshall Harris, the coach Jim Lynam, and Mark Jackson in the studio. Halftime here on Comcast Sportsnet. The Magic lead the Sixers. Pure Insurance Halftime Live is promised. Coming up right after this.
Double-digit lead for the Heat. And
by Wells Fargo, Jameer Nelson came out and hit his first 4 from beyond for his 12 points. Ryan Anderson continues to be a very capable scorer for the Magic off the bench. Dwight Howard, 8 points, 8 rebounds. Elton Brand with 16 to lead everybody. Andres Nocioni, 3 threes and 4 of 5 from the floor. And a 16-minute first half run. Drew Holiday also with 9 first half assists. And let's look at our leading scorers, brought to you by Wells Fargo, along with Meredith and East Snow. Marks him off tonight. The 76ers need to hit the glass. They yielded 12 offensive rebounds to the Magic in that first half. So the Sixers, considering, are very happy to be down only 3, 50-47, as we prepare for the start of tonight's third quarter here on Comcast Sportsnet. Season tickets for next year on sale even as we speak. Call a 76ers sales representative to reserve your seat. Log on to Sixers.com, or you can call 215-339-7676. 215-339-7676. With Meredith and East Snow, Mark Zumoff tonight. Third quarter underway on Comcast Sportsnet. Drew Holiday, Jody Meeks in the backcourt. Spencer Hawes in the middle. Elton Brand and Andres Nocioni getting a start here to begin this third quarter. Hawes, the plunge inside, compliments of Elton Brand, and for Spencer, his first points of the game.
Well, that's when Elton Brand right there drawing a double team. Spencer Hawes going right to the rim. Elton Brand didn't score, but he's still making plays.
Now Hawes dealing with Dwight Howard, who gets it back from Jameer Nelson. Nocioni Been very effective for the Sixers. Thus, the start here in the third quarter from Doug Collins. Sixers looking for their first lead of the game. Meeks for a three. Pause crashing, but there is Howard. Perfect position for his 9th rebound. Jameer Nelson, Jason Richardson, the Magic, backcourt. Howard in the middle. That's Nelson all the way to the cup, and will continue his walk to the line. Andres Nocioni on the case, committing personal foul number 2.
And Jameer Nelson knocking down those shots, so now you have to honor him shooting the basketball, and as a bigger guy, he just takes the basketball right to the rim. That's where your help defense has to be aware and understand that he has a matchup to his advantage.
There he is, the McDonald's small fry of the game tonight. McDonald's, I'm loving it. Picture perfect. Jameer Nelson, 6 feet even, 190. Last year, left knee surgery in November. 2 years ago, the shoulder problem that kept him out for half the season and most of the playoffs until the finals. Had to be an odd situation then for the Magic. Drew Holiday dipping in. Spencer Hawes, right place, right time to turn garbage into gold and make it a 1-point game again. So again, it's Nelson and Richardson with Turkoglu, Howard, and Brandon Bass up front. Turkoglu with double vision. Bass suddenly free. And Holiday secures it for the Sixers, who again look for their first lead of the game. Holiday working over Bass. Sixers will keep it here with 14 to shoot.
Right here, nice pump fake right here with Drew Holiday. Felt he got fouled. No call. But you like the fact that, Drew Holiday's getting in that paint. His size and his talent. It's evident with the 9 assists in the first half.
Holiday meeting up with Howard, and he threw it away. For Drew, his 3rd turnover. He continues to work on that aspect of his game. Once again, he does have 9 assists. That is Meeks off the miss by Bass. And again, the Sixers look to go in front for the first time. Holiday for a rolling Hawes, met by Richardson and left in denial by Dwight Howard, his 3rd snuff of the game.
Fumble of the pass allowed Dwight Howard to catch up to Spencer Hawes, and got to get it up quick. He's coming in there to block many shots.
Sixers down a point, 13 to shoot, and we come back. Who will be the NBA Defensive Player of the Year? A tie among you voters between Dwight Howard and Andre Iguodala. Kobe Bryant and LeBron James following in the voting. We thank you for your vote tonight in the AT&T poll question. Dwight Howard, not 1, not 2, but 3 blocks in this game. He is 3rd in the NBA in blocks behind Andrew Bogut of Milwaukee and JaVale McGee of the Washington Wizards. Once again, the reigning 2-time Defensive Player of the Year. Sixers looking for their first lead out of the timeout. Holiday, the healthy 3, and down it goes.
You had to make it.
For Drew Holiday, I'm telling you. I still had about 7 to shoot,
check the shot clock to make sure it wasn't running down. But he makes the shot, so now we finally get that lead, and you got to try to get a little separation here against this Magic team.
Good luck. Turkoglu. Again, his shot in the first half ruled a 3. He's got 7 for the game, and now we're locked at 54. Brand. Only a 2nd miss. He's 6 of 8 for a 16. Howard over Hawes. Nocioni continues to be in the mix for the Sixers. Holiday with Howard looming. Brand collects the miss. Nocioni for three. Rebound to Bass.
Against most teams, Drew Holiday, that's a layup. But Dwight Howard, just his presence. And then they're able to secure the rebound. Usually shot blockers take themselves and their team out of rebounding position, but not with the Orlando Magic.
Sixers were double teaming Howard earlier, straight up here by Hawes. And Dwight Howard is fouled. You get 2 at the line after Hawes committed personal foul number 2.
Well, they're still double teaming him, but as you can see right there, is on his move, on the dribble. First half, they were coming on the pass, and the Magic made us pay from that standpoint. They're coming right away, and he was making the right pass out of the double team. But then you sort of make him go into his move, and it's harder for a lot of big men to pass out of double teams once they've committed to their move or committed to dribbling the basketball.
Dwight Howard at 59%. And he's been at or about 59% just about every year of his 7-year NBA career. Right out of high school. Won gold in the Beijing Olympics back in 2008. And a top pick in the NBA draft. Puts his team up a deuce. He's got 10. Holiday against Nelson. Again with Howard looming. Pause for three. Brand got shoved away. The late whistle as Hedo Turkoglu came down with the rebound, and Turkoglu called for the foul.
Elton Brand had the position for the rebounding, so that's what it comes down to. Sometimes you see a little push right there. Of course, he exaggerated a little bit, but it was enough to get the call.
Magic 1 team foul, just 2 for the Sixers. Nocioni stripped en route to the hoop. Nelson escaping Holiday. The lob for Howard. Oh, man. That was one angry slam.
Somebody should have told Drew Holiday he was coming from behind it. You can get hurt on that. Wow.
Hi, the women and children.
You know when the home crowd cheers or you hear the oohs and ahs, that's a highlight forever for one Drew Holiday.
That was downright nasty. A swing for a Meeks 3. Sixers down 4. Meeks just 1 of 4 from beyond. Inside Bass getting a throwdown, and Doug Collins, after seeing 2 straight dunks to cap an 8-0 Orlando run, calls a timeout to the Sixers, who fought very hard to get back into this. Doug Collins does not want serious separation, and he calls and gets the timeout.
Your Jeep driver of the game right here, Jameer Nelson. He knows exactly what to do with it. And Drew Holiday, he tried, but oh my, his teammates will have something to tease him about maybe the rest of his career.
Look out below, Drew Holiday. A few moments ago, it was a major, hear me, monster dunk.
And this right here, oh my goodness, this is the kind of game, as you see the crowd, wow. That's pretty much all you could say. Everybody in here was excited to see that, except for Drew Holiday. That's, whoo.
And if that stat holds up, it'll be the 6th straight year leading the NBA in dunks.
Career's worth in 1 year. Every year, yes.
How many dunks you have in a career?
Probably take away the 22 from his.
Which would equal what?
5.
So you mean the first 2 twos and not 22?
Yeah, take off 22 from the front.
Howard at it again. Hawes got away with a little shove. Ryan Anderson first time in the second half. Another offensive rebound for the Magic, their 13th and first after intermission. They lead by 6. Nelson teeing up a 3, and down it goes for Jameer Nelson, who hit his first 4 from beyond. Now he's 5 of 7. Give him 17 for the game.
That's the inside-out action. It's just tough to defend. If you have a low post presence and you throw the ball inside, you know, in the ball movement, man movement, just tough.
Elton Brand missing with a left hand, but Howard threw it right to Jody Meeks. Sixers have missed their last 7. The Magic unleashing an 11-0 run. The Sixers down as many as 14 in the first half. They ripped off 14 straight, came back, made it a game, took a brief lead here in the third. But the Magic wresting control back. Anderson for 3. Nocioni cleaning up.
Does Anderson know he can get a little closer to the line?
Well, you know what? He's good at that. He figures, why should I come inside the fence when I have so much fun playing outside of it? Nocioni missing the 3. Elton Brand in pursuit. Good hustle by EB as Meeks dips in and strokes 2.
Those are the type of plays right there. Just Orlando Magic, their whole team just looked at the basketball as Elton Brand saved it. So you have to make sure that you can't let this team outwork you right here, especially with them, their ability to make shots and having a dominant player in the paint.
Jason Richardson getting 2 back at the other end. Richardson, the 4th Magic player, double figures with 10. Elton Brand, they swarm over him. Dangerous pass. Nocioni. Rebound to Anderson.
Well, they're committed to double teaming Elton Brand. He's hot, like you said. He has a matchup with a smaller guy. And if you're going to foul him, you can't let him lay it up. You got to know that. I know it's tough. You don't really want to get a flagrant foul, but you just can't take a foul like this and still allow him right there. You don't even grab his hand. And Dwight Howard's a left-handed player. So you have to know that. You know, he shoots right-handed, so you have to know that basically he's still strong enough to get that shot off. So you have to make sure that he doesn't get it.
Spencer Hawes taking a seat, 3 personal fouls. Drew Holiday joins him. Evan Turner, who started this game, the first time in the second half for him. Thad Young getting a run. Hawes sitting with 4, all 4 after intermission. Holiday with 11 and 9 assists. So now Turner running it up top against Chris Duhon, who's come on for the first time in the second half. Suddenly the Sixers are down a dozen. Nocioni thinking 3. Meeks will give it a whirl. Elton Brand secures it. Right back up and in. EB his first points in the second half, and he's got 18.
Elton Brand gets the rebound, knowing he's going to get that shot. And Dwight Howard really doesn't want to come out there, but you see no Elton Brand's drive. The majority of the times he can get that shot off, not with Dwight Howard guarding.
So now Elton Brand is on Dwight Howard. Anderson missing the tip. Meeks breaking it free, but the Magic secure it. It's a Turkoglu 3. Oh, and there he was again. Putting on a show tonight. A dunk show, if you will. Dwight Howard throwing it down for 2 of his 17, including his 3rd slam of the game.
Well, if we're not going to box out, let's make sure that we don't box out everybody else on their team except for Dwight Howard. Because he's going to out-jump and get every rebound if we don't put a body on him. Really, 2 guys should be trying to box him out.
Magic to continue to dominate the glass, putting a ton of offensive rebounds.
Fouls on Ryan Anderson, his first, team 7.
Ryan Anderson, the personal foul, as Meeks trots out with 7.
It's all set up by the offensive rebound. Turk takes that long shot and nobody on Dwight Howard, and this is the result when you don't box him out.
Magic taking back control of this game here in the third. After the Sixers made great inroads in the second, Nocioni, tough three. Nocioni 3 of 7 from beyond. He's got 11. Anderson all alone for 3, and down it goes for Ryan Anderson. The Magic potent from beyond tonight, 10 of 17. That caps a 21-4 Orlando outburst, and their largest lead of the game now at 15 points. Game out. Lou Williams continues to sit out with his hamstring issue. Iguodala, just an extra opportunity for him to get some rest. And he may be playing on Wednesday. That's the regular season finale here. It's Fan Appreciation Night. It's an 8 o'clock start. And the playoffs beginning this weekend against either Miami or the Boston Celtics. Turner open, unable to take advantage. Evan Turner 0 for 3, just 2 points in the game.
That shot right there, good hustle by Anderson to block the shot. Just nothing easy is coming for Evan Turner here on the offensive end.
That's Turner on the defensive end, collecting the miss by Dwight Howard. Brand in a scramble. Got it done. Nice hustle by E.B. to virtually take it away from Duhan and score 2 of his 20.
Those are the type of plays we're going to need. The scrapping right there. Right now, Orlando Magic, as long as Dwight Howard is on this court, they having a true advantage.
So 20 on one end, and now defending Howard on the other. Duhan, the late give up to Anderson, who throws down 2.
That's just not solid rotation. You double team, then you have to know your rotations, and Anderson left wide open underneath because of it.
Daniels skipping into a 3. Under a minute now remaining here in the third. Nelson another 3. Up for grabs. Daniels guiding it, but to Duhan. The Magic now may be able to work 2 possessions for 1. Andres Nocioni up top against the 6-foot point guard Jameer Nelson. As Elton Brand tries to deny Dwight Howard, he fouls him. 2 on him, 1 the Sixers had to give here. The final 2-minute period. The Magic still with a foul to give. And a little more than 15 seconds separating the clocks. Howard. Duhan got it back. Earl Clark, return to the game a few moments ago, is fouled. And that's 3 now on Elton Brand. And it will be 2 at the line for Earl Clark. Drew Holiday getting set to check back in for the Sixers.
Duhan with that same effort that we got the last possession from Elton Brand, just giving the Orlando Magic an extra possession. This team, they don't need any extra possessions the way they rebound in the basketball against you.
Lots happening on Wednesday, the regular season finale, Fan Appreciation Night, Sixers and Detroit. Take note, it's an 8 o'clock start. Tickets start at just $10. Come out early for the block party. 2 hours of food, fun, and entertainment. Log on to Sixers.com or call 215-339-7676. The shot clock is unplugged. The Magic does have a foul to give. They hold 16, their largest lead. They have pretty much owned this third quarter.
And late in the third quarter, also, that's the thing about it. You really turned it on after that play by Dwight Howard.
The Sixers at one point had a 2-point lead earlier in the quarter. Thaddeus Young, the tip-in of the Elton Brand miss. And that'll do it. So a great late run by the Magic. 26-15. They outscored the Sixers in the quarter. They lead by 14 after 3. Out. Final quarter coming up right after this. Our safe auto quote of the game from Andre Iguodala, who is sitting this one out. He says about his injury, we've been staying on top of it, doing a lot of strengthening exercises. It takes away from it. When you go out and are pounding on it, it will be good to get a little bit of rest going into the playoffs. Andre Iguodala, they did the same thing for him back on March 19th at Portland to try to give him a little bit of extra rest. Remember, he played this past summer on the national team, winning gold in Turkey, and back here at Wells Fargo Center, Sixers and the Magic tonight on Comcast Sportsnet. And now the fourth and final quarter is underway. Along with Meredith and East Snow, Mark Zumoff tonight. The action in beautiful high definition. 81st of 82 regular season games for both of these teams. Duhan trying to join the three-point shooting party. Magic, even with that miss, still 10 of 19 from beyond. Jrue Holiday, Jody Meeks in the backcourt. Andres Nocioni still out there, along with Spencer Hawes, who's got it now. He's in the middle, and Thad Young. Eltran, a well-deserved rest. Nocioni giving up some size there. Went to the floor, whistle silent. Richardson a three, rimming it. Meeks has it for the Sixers, trail by 14. Sixers had a brief 2-point lead in the third. Then the Magic seize in control. Now the Sixers hoping to get at least one final push.
I would like to see Evan Turner here get some crucial minutes here in this fourth quarter. The season's winding down, and you never know, the young fella definitely may be needed in the playoffs.
Another offensive rebound for Orlando. They're 17th, and they make good.
The offensive rebound, the rebounding has just been horrible, really. Got so many opportunities, even the Magic in the first half, where they really turned the basketball over. You can't make a team pay if they're rebounding the way they are.
The Magic in this game, and we are just into the fourth quarter, with more than twice the rebounds of the Sixers, 49-24.
And if you're on the Sixers standpoint, like Aaron McKee said at halftime, it boils down to effort, and for the most part, that's pretty much what it is. I mean, you have to want the basketball, you have to go get it, you have to box out. You know, the two fundamentals of securing that ball.
Ryan Anderson drilling the three. Oh yeah. Oh, listen. At 39%, which is pretty good. The Sixers saw up close and personal here in February when he hit 4 threes.
But it's just tough for being a big guy. It was just tough for big guys to get out there and defend the position and defend out on the perimeter when they're not used to it.
Jrue Holiday with 13. The Sixers need to get busy, and the guy you spoke about a few moments ago, East Snow, Evan Turner, about to come back for the Sixers. Another offensive rebound for Orlando. And a whistle and a foul. The latest pulled by Earl Clark. Their 18th of the night.
They're pushing to have more offensive rebounds than we are total rebounds, which is extremely disappointing and embarrassing. You have to make sure that, and the shooting percentages aren't that big of a difference for the rebounding to be that, to have that big of a difference. So it comes down to allowing the offensive rebound. And you know, majority of times when a team shoots a lot of threes, there's going to be a lot of long rebounds. So you really have to be attached to your man. You have to box out, and you have to chase down a lot of rebounds. So that's where the effort comes in.
The Magic at 45% shooting right now. Not as if they're shooting in the 30s.
So it's the effort where it's coming down to. We're not getting a lot of offensive rebounds, and we're not shooting a high percentage. So we have the same opportunities, probably more than they have.
Evan Turner, a starter in this game. Spotty playing time here after intermission. 0 for 4, only 2 points. Getting the start for Andre Iguodala, who's getting the rest. Anderson a healthy 3. Young wants Anderson. Don't count it. But we have a foul. It's going to be on Ryan Anderson. We also have a timeout. We are 3:04 into this final quarter tonight at Wells Fargo Center.
Morakovitz. La Liga del Barrio is Philly's first Latino youth basketball organization. It was co-founded by the Sixers back in 2000. They completed their 11th season this past weekend, and as you can see, hip-hop was on hand at Thomas Edison High School for their awards ceremony, and actually Andres Nocioni was there as well as Tony Batty, where they gave out all the awards to the kids. Sixers very proud of La Liga del Barrio's growth over the past couple of years. They certainly hope that growth continues in the future.
Muchas gracias. Meredith Morakovitz.
Elton Brand back in for the 76ers.
Sixers need to get busy now. Trailing by 19. They have it out of the timeout. The Magic, once again, it is their largest advantage. Elton Brand is back. Dwight Howard still on the Magic bench.
Elton Brand's been much tougher this half because of the fact that he was hot making shots, and Orlando Magic just said, hey, we're not going to lose with you making shots, and they've double teamed him, gave him a crowd, no matter where he's at on the court.
Brandon Bass having his way inside. Bass just 3 of 9. He's got 6, averaging just over 11. He is 4th best on the Magic in scoring. Brand slipping inside and getting the roll. Elton Brand now with 22, and he is high man of the game.
Right now, if you're Coach Collins, you want to see your team exert some energy. I think you got to pick up full court. I mean, we're down. The team is down here in the 4th quarter. So just under 8 minutes, so you have to do something different. Let me see you trap. Let me see you pick up full court. And let me see you get loose balls, which we didn't get.
Hawes denying Clark, and we have a jump ball. In the meantime, that floorboard for Chris Duhon was the 19th offensive rebound of the game for Orlando.
See right here, Spencer Hawes, a nice effort, forcing the jump ball right there. But it was still an offensive rebound that set that up. So very disappointing effort on the rebounding by the Sixers.
And a 53-25 rebounding advantage overall to the Magic. Hawes tried to spring Holiday. Ultimately, Duhon tracked it down. These Spades trying to get a run here in the 4th. Bass and Elton Brand here, a couple of heavenly bodies. As he looks to unload, he traveled with a basketball. And the turnover for Orlando. Their 15th of the game as Maurice Speights is in. First time in the second half for what it is worth for the Magic. Only their 2nd turnover of the second half. Spencer Hawes giving way to Maurice Speights. Speights did not play Wednesday at the Sixers, or Friday I should say, the Sixers' last game. That was Toronto, after getting minutes in 4 straight. Sixers give it up.
It's not a good effort right now. I mean, it's just not a way you went in the season. From an effort standpoint, really. I mean, because you have to say this, you turn the ball over. They're just playing. It's one thing for a team to outplay you and play better. It's another thing for a team to outwork you. And I think that has to have Coach Collins really disappointed.
You know, the Sixers are this close to the postseason. The Flyers are already there. We'll look ahead to their meeting, their first-round matchup with the Buffalo Sabres, and kind of look into the history of it. This will be the 9th time these two teams have faced each other in the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Of course, John, it's early in the Phillies season, but they have a big reunion with Jason Worth tomorrow, and our analyst Ben Davis will tell us why the Phillies starting rotation is so difficult to beat in this 2011 season.
Plus, Carl Lewis, the Olympic champion, is running again. We'll tell you why you may be interested that he's doing that as well. Ron Burke and myself will join you for Toyota Sports Night following Sixers post-game live. Zoo, back to you.
All right, gentlemen, thank you so much as we welcome you to our telecast tonight with Meredith and East Snow, Mark Sumoff, bringing you Sixers action. The Sixers and the Orlando Magic. The Sixers down 14 in the second, made a nice run. We're down only 3 at intermission, and in fact, poked their heads above water and took a 2-point lead early in the third, but the Magic seizing control. And now just to ensure, or try to ensure that the Magic pull away and get themselves a win, their big guy, Dwight Howard, is in. A little more than half the fourth quarter yet to be played.
There was only 9 guys in uniform, so you see Evan Turner finally get a shot to go. I mean, but they got to make substitutions, and unfortunately for us, they got to bring Jameer Nelson and Dwight Howard back into the basketball game.
No Gilbert Arenas. Continued knee issues for him. J.J. Redick hasn't played since March 9th because of a lower abdominal strain. He is with the team and working out. They have not ruled out that he could play in the season finale for the Magic. That'll be at home against Indiana. You know, Turkoglu, they razz him, but otherwise the Magic pretty good from beyond tonight. 11 of 24. That's a couple of ticks below 46%. Orlando looking for its 51st victory of the season, coming in at 50 and 30. 4th straight year this team has won 50 or more. Brandon passed the field goal. However, it is the first time in 3 years they failed to win the Southeast Division. Miami Heat capturing that division.
That's going to be tough to capture. Orlando Magic, they made their trade, so they'll be even stronger next year. I'm sure that those guys having a full season and making some more adjustments with new players. So it's going to be a tough division in years to come.
Pass deep into the shot clock, got it off, but not in. Drew Holiday to the glass for 2, and Drew with a double-double tonight, 15 and 11 assists.
You see the Orlando Magic just grinding the game out. They're coming down every time, running their play, executing, taking time off the clock like a veteran team.
Jameer Nelson only gets 17 points for him. Turner fouled en route by Earl Clark. And Evan Turner. First 2 buckets of the game coming here in the 4th. We'll go to the line looking for one more. Andres Nocioni, Antonio Daniels in, Holiday and Brand heading to the bench. Sixers fans, the playoffs are back. Round 1 of the Eastern Conference playoffs. Those tickets now on sale. Either Miami or Boston will be the opponent. Log on to Sixers.com or call 215-339-7676 for ticket information. One thing is for sure, a Sixer loss in this game, and they will tack down the 7th spot. They will not be able to move up and catch the New York Knicks no matter what happens Wednesday in the season finale against Detroit, nor in New York's last 2 games.
This comes down to a matter of who will play.
Yeah.
The Miami Heat will hold on to that number 2 seed. Either way, it'll be a rough one. Got a tough opponent, but games still have to be played.
I'll tell you what, the Celtics are struggling at Washington. They lose that game. Miami wins at Atlanta. Miami will then nail down the 2 spot, and it will be all set. And there will be no more
I
drama.
totally believe the Boston Celtics are pretty much conceding that second seed and just going with the rest. I really believe they will.
That said, it would be a playoff preview in their season finale at home, taking on the New York Knicks. Take a timeout. The Magic in control of this one under 3 to play in the final quarter. Marines.com. Ryan Anderson off the bench for 18 and also 14 rebounds. Brand, another 20-point performance for him. And for Anderson, 7 of the 14 rebounds off the offensive glass. Jrue Holiday with a double-double. Jason Richardson, Jody Meeks each with 3 steals. And let's look at our game leaders, brought to you by Marines.com. And so the final 2:59 of this one. The Magic in control, looking for their 51st victory of the season, ending the season at home Wednesday against Indiana. And for the Sixers, once again, if they lose this one, they will be in the 7th spot in the NBA playoffs, taking on either the Boston Celtics or the Miami Heat. Again, the Celtics struggling at Washington. If they lose that game and the Heat win at Atlanta, the pairing will then be set. And hopefully Andre Iguodala and Lou Williams will be ready. Certainly Iguodala will. And the big hope is that Lou Williams, with the rest that he has had last week and a half from that hamstring injury, will be ready to go as well. There'll be some practice time for the Sixers. They will practice Thursday, Friday. Game 1 will be either Saturday or Sunday. Lou Williams taking some practice shots before the games, treadmill work, some work in the pool, and he reports that he is feeling much better. The record, Dwight Howard with 19. Thaddeus Young. Thad with 9 off the bench. And of course the Magic in no particular hurry. Antonio Daniels. That'll be a goaltend. Despite the big swat into the crowd by Dwight Howard, scored 2 for Antonio Daniels.
And Dwight Howard clearly knew that was a goaltending. Still fussing about the call he believed he didn't get the previous possession.
Careful now, could be another technical. He's got 18 of those. Reese Bates tried to give it up. Now Nelson drains it.
2 minutes left.
No referee was even down to see if it was a 3 or a 2.
Well, I'm looking for a signal. Nobody was signaling. And now they're going to check the replay. Because things happen so quickly, I guess the officials either not expecting it, not in position.
Yeah, the turnover
whatever,
happened, and it was a turnover, and soon before the referee could even react, he was taking the shot.
It's close. So an official review here. The officials tonight: Ken Maurer, the crew chief; David Guthrie, Eli Rowe. Checking the replay with exactly 2 minutes to play.
Jamil Nelson right there. We know the left foot, but the right one, it appears to be turned behind that line.
They scored it too.
Tough, but he knocks it down regardless.
Well, he's had his quota of threes tonight. He's hit 5 of them.
Well, the same way that he started the basketball game with Jameer Nelson making jump shots is the same way they're ending it.
Andres Nocioni getting a lot of playing time in this one. 13 and 6 for him, including 3 threes. Again, the Magic in no particular hurry. Antonio Daniels, 13 years in the NBA, did not play in the league last year, had knee surgery. Sixers getting him out of the D-League. The NBA's official developmental league. Time now for tonight's Toyota Turning Point.
Yes, sir, Toyota Turning Point. Guess what that is? If you've been watching this basketball game, we all know that's it. The rebounding difference. Wow, Magic 56 rebounds. Woo. To be out-rebounded by that much, you know, Coach Collins cannot be happy with that. He's going to point the finger at effort. And one thing you want to do, you go out on the basketball court, no matter what the situation is, no matter what part of the season is, you want to make sure your effort is always there. So that's a disappointing stat that I'm sure the guys will have to deal with in that locker room.
Jameer Nelson taking a seat. 19 points for his evening. The Sixers down a dozen as we approach the final minute of this one. Earl Clark could not get it off, and the shot clock violation on Orlando. Evan Turner got the start in this one, but again gave way to Andres Nocioni to begin the second half. Set up for Thad Young missing the 3. Reese Spates pulling it down and putting it back. So for the Sixers, they will be the 7th seed in the upcoming NBA playoffs. The only question remaining, will they play Miami or Boston? And again, if the Celtics lose tonight at Washington, and that's a possibility, they've been struggling, and Miami wins at Atlanta, the pairing will be set, and the Sixers will play the Miami Heat in the first round of the NBA playoffs to commence this coming weekend. We'll have that update for you on Sixers Post-Game Live, presented by McDonald's. As for the Orlando Magic, their 51st victory of the season. Dwight Howard and company winning this by 10, 95-85, and they take the season series from the Sixers 3-1. Our Bud Light players of the game, the big and the small.
The big guy, Dwight Howard, whew, he was rough in the paint, and the little guy, Jameer Nelson, started this game out, knocking down shots, really extended our defense and opened up that middle for the rebounding and Howard to dominate. Those two guys, your Bud Light player of the game, Dwight Howard and Jameer Nelson.
Right now the Heat leading at Atlanta, but that is still close and too close to call. Again, the Heat 2nd seed right now, and the Wizards continue to cause problems for the Boston Celtics in Washington. And again, if the Wizards win and the Heat win, the Sixers will face Miami in the first round. They lose this one tonight by 10, 95-85, right here on Comcast Sportsnet.
76ers basketball has been brought to you